Next time you board a plane, take a good look at the window. It's round, soft corners, oval shape. Every window, every plane, every airline on Earth. That's not a style choice, that's a tombstone. Because in the 1950s, the most advanced passenger jet in the world had beautiful, elegant, square windows. And those squares tore three of them out of the sky. This is the story of the de Havilland Comet, the world's first jet airliner, a baffling mystery, a test that involved drowning an entire airplane in a giant tank of water, and why a tiny curve is quietly saving your life every time you fly. 1952, Britain launches the de Havilland Comet, and there's no other word, gorgeous. While everyone else is still flying loud, rattling propeller planes, the Comet is a smooth silver jet. It flies almost twice as fast and twice as high, up around 40,000 feet. Up there, the air is so smooth. Passengers said it felt like the plane was standing still. And those windows, big, generous, nearly square windows, lovely to look through, very modern, very fatal. Here's the problem with flying at 40,000 feet. Humans can't survive up there. The air is too thin, so the cabin has to be pressurized, pumped full of air like a balloon. That means the fuselage isn't just a tube with seats, it's a pressure vessel. Every flight, it inflates. Every landing, it deflates. Inflate, deflate, tens of thousands of times. Hold that thought. It's about to matter enormously. 1953. A comet breaks apart shortly after takeoff in a storm. Tragic, but storms happen, and it's blamed on the weather. January 1954. A comet climbs out of Rome on a clear morning and simply vanishes from the radio mid sentence. It's found in pieces in the Mediterranean. No storm, no distress call, no explanation. The fleet is grounded. Engineers check everything, make dozens of modifications, find nothing conclusive. The comets fly again. 16 days later, another one, also out of Rome, also into the sea. Now it's not bad luck, it's a pattern. Something is hunting this aircraft, and nobody knows what. Britain launches one of the most ambitious accident investigations in history. The Royal Navy starts pulling the wreckage off the seabed, piece by piece, reassembling a crashed airliner from the ocean floor like a jigsaw puzzle. While the Navy fished for wreckage, investigators did something magnificently strange. They built a tank big enough to hold an entire Comet fuselage, filled it with water, and began torturing the plane. Why water? Because they needed to simulate pressurization cycles that inflate deflate breathing over and over fast. Doing it with air would be a bomb waiting to happen. Compressed air stores huge energy, and a rupture would obliterate the evidence. Water barely compresses, so when something breaks, it just breaks, politely. So they pumped water in and out around the clock, simulating flight after flight after flight. The plane flew thousands of flights without ever leaving the building. And then, after the equivalent of years of service, the hull ripped. The tear started at the corner of a window. Here's the science, and it's beautifully simple. Stress flowing through a material is like water flowing in a river. Give it a smooth, curved bank, and it flows calmly around. Give it a sharp corner, and it slams into it, swirls, and concentrates. Every flight, those four corners of every square window got hammered with concentrated stress. Microscopic cracks formed, far too small to see, and grew flight by flight like a paper cut deepening every time you flex your hand. Until one day, at altitude, fully pressurized, the crack reached critical length, and at that point, a pressurized cabin doesn't leak. It unzips, For the accuracy nerds, on that Rome flight, the fatal crack actually traced back to a rivet hole near a square cornered cutout in the roof, an antenna aperture. Same killer, same geometry, sharp corners plus metal fatigue. The fix sounds almost insultingly simple. Get rid of the corners. A rounded or oval window has no point for stress to pile up against. The load flows smoothly around the opening like a river around a smooth stone. Same pressure, same metal, same flights, but no concentration points, no runaway cracks. That's the entire reason every window on every airliner you've ever boarded is rounded. Not aesthetics, not aerodynamics, geometry versus fatigue. The curve is the safety feature. And while we're here, two bonus secrets hiding in that window. One, it's actually three panes. The outer pane takes the pressure, the middle is a backup, and the inner one is mostly so passengers don't scratch the important ones. Two, that tiny little hole at the bottom of the middle pane, it's called a breather hole, and people online love to panic about it. It's supposed to be there. It equalizes pressure between the panes so the outer pane carries the load, and it keeps the window from fogging up. A tiny hole doing quiet, competent work. Here's the bittersweet ending. De Havilland fixed the Comet, round windows, thicker skin, and the later Comet 4 was a fine, safe aircraft. But the damage was done. In the years the Comet sat grounded, Boeing and Douglas studied every published detail of the investigation and built the 707 and DC 8 around those lessons. America took the lead in jet aviation and never really gave it back. The Comet's failure became the entire industry's textbook. Metal fatigue in pressurized hulls, fail-safe design, the idea that an aircraft must tolerate a crack without unzipping. Modern aviation safety was substantially written in that water tank. It's one of the great quiet trades in engineering history. One aircraft's reputation exchanged for everyone else's safety. So, that window you lean your head against while pretending the safety briefing doesn't apply to you, it's round because square windows tore planes apart. It has three panes because engineers don't trust one of anything. It has a tiny hole because air pressure needs somewhere to go. Every curve of it is a lesson someone paid dearly to learn. Aviation has a dark, honest saying. The rules are written in blood, but I prefer the optimistic version. Every flight you've ever walked away from, you walked away because someone turned a tragedy into a design rule. The most boring looking objects usually have the best stories. Like, why does a wine bottle have that weird dent in the bottom? Is it to rip you off? That's next. Subscribe if you want to keep seeing the invisible engineering all around you.